I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite things to do is to pitch a jig into some thick cover, feel that thump, swing that wood, and connect with that fish. That's a fish. Come in here. This is the spot, man. There's no doubt that a jig is one of the best producing lures of all time. It has stood the test of time, and they just keep getting better and better and better. I probably started throwing a jig 5 years ago, but I've been bass fishing for a really long time. I'm a power fisherman. I like to cast and wind, but sometimes that's not going to work. Sometimes you've got to put something like this in front of that fish's mouth. I've learned a lot this past winter about fishing jigs in cold water. I want to share that with you. I spent 3 days on a family farm pond at the end of 2023, fished in all different kinds of conditions, fished a jig all 3 days. Did it produce for me? You're just going to have to check out the video, but I promise you, at the end of this, you're going to walk away knowing a little bit more about jigs. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. All right, let's see if we can put this jig in the spot. Let's see if they're going to do the same thing to this dude. Yes, I like it. Come in here. Yes, sir. Thank you much. I appreciate you. That's a fish. That's a good one. That might be the best guy of the day right there. Nice. I like it. And that baby Firework jig. The fish are definitely on wood. And they're definitely feeding down. That is a ton of fun. Pale and cold. Earlier that day, I'd been throwing around the stupid tube and absolutely getting smashed. So I decided to put a jig exactly where I was putting the tube, fish it the exact same way, and I was not getting the same results. The fish were not aggressive to it. They were not annihilating it, but the fish that I did pick up on this incredible jig were the two best fish of the day. So I've heard my whole life, you know, fishing a jig is going to yield less bites but better quality, and in my opinion that day it absolutely proved it for me. Oh man. Ooh, this should be pretty quick. Oh, yep. Did you drop it? No, he still got it. Nope, he dropped it. There we go. Another guy's messing with it right now. That's it, you're done? Mr. Water Skier? You're the guy that's been down there? You chunky little monkey? Nice. You could tell he wanted that. You're not the ones we're looking for. And I won't turn you down. Day two is a totally different story. I thought I was going to go in there, throw the same jig, and have the same results, but a cold front had come through the night before and dropped the air temperature like an additional 10 degrees. So I'm sure in that small body of water, the water temperature had dropped a little bit. They were interacting with the jig, but they just weren't picking it up enough. That day I actually ended up switching over to a straight tail ribbed bait by Geek Crack in a darker color and had really, really good results. One of the things I wish I'd realized that day after having success with the straight tail worm is maybe they weren't looking for something with such a large profile. I wish I would have switched to something more like this, a compact jig with just a straight tail on it, and I wonder if I would have continued to see less bites but better quality. Don't know. Definitely made a mental note for next time. We've been fishing our spot for a minute here and throwing a lot of different baits and no hits. It's very, very interesting. The biggest factor that's different today is the lack of wind coming into this area. Past 2 days, the wind was blowing either against this bank or into this bank, into the south or into the east, from the north or from the west. But today, the wind is coming from the east, blowing to the west. And so far, nothing, no activity on this bank at all. That's what I'm talking about right there. Jigfish. Jigfish. Dead stick. Yes, the baby Firework jig with the baby Firework jig with a little Gander Mountain scented chunk on there. Get up here, buddy. Dead stick, slow drags. That's what's doing it. Dead sticks and slow drags. Pretty sure I'm going to end it on that note right there. Oh, my word. Day 3, totally different story. Now, I did learn my lesson from the day before, and I decided to switch to a trailer with a lot less action. I was actually throwing a chunk trailer. Now, I've never had confidence throwing a chunk trailer. I've never had success throwing a chunk trailer. Those are actually the very first fish that I'd ever caught on a chunk trailer. But I did learn that day that when you're fishing bluebird skies and the barometric pressure is up, to just move the bait even less. And I was actually having success dead sticking the jig that day. So for me, the most important takeaways that day were switch to something that they can see easy and move it really, really slow if you're going to move it at all. This is the baby Firework jig by Tightrope Fishing. Tightrope Fishing is a small company out of Chicago, Illinois. Ryan and JP tie up some absolutely killer jigs. These are really small. I think it's a 1/0 hook, maybe a 2/0. You guys, this is exactly how it comes out of the package. It's got a wire bait keeper and a pretty stout hook for being so small, but it's an absolute perfect small profile bait. This jig trailer, this is the Motion Fishing Penny Craw, and I believe this is a green pumpkin with orange flake. Absolutely love it on this profile, on this color jig. I think it matches up really, really well. Day 3, I was also fishing a Tightrope baby Firework jig. I think both of these are in a 1/4 ounce. And what I did for a trailer on day 3, I was actually fishing a chunk like this, because when you thread this on here, that chunk, it's still kind of meaty, especially for a jig this size. So you can see that that's still got a little meat to it. So what I did is I just trimmed a little bit off each side and just made it a little bit more slender. Some other jigs that I have a ton of confidence in is the Beast Coast Hustler Hybrid jig. What I love about this jig is that it's actually got hair and silicone tied into it. There's probably even some rubber in there. It does have a beefier weed guard, but it's still soft. It's not super, super stiff. Absolutely love putting a menace grub on there and cutting the tails off of it for that straight presentation. And the last small compact jig that I have a ton of confidence in is the Grunt from Thunderhawk Lures. What I like most about this is it's got a keeled head, so I can use this as a small swim jig, but I can also use it as a compact flipping jig. And I really love the clear weed guard that it has in there. It does have a wire keeper as well to hold on to baits like Z-Man or just regular plastics. Some of you guys out there aren't comfortable fishing jigs, and you know what? That's absolutely okay too. If you guys would rather fish soft plastics this time of year, I would encourage you guys to go ahead and check out this video right here with the Stupid Tube, or go ahead and check out this video right here with the Geek Crack Bellow Stick. Same bodies of water, same days, and you can see how effective sometimes other baits can be in the cold water period. I hope you guys get out there. I hope you do some fishing. I really hope you do some catching. Most importantly, just get out there and live that hook life. See ya.